Hey everyone and welcome. Have you ever walked past a garden and been hit with that amazing, calming scent of lavender and just thought, I wish I could grow that? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to go on a little quest to become lavender growing experts. It's going to be fun, so let's jump right in. Just take a look at this. Seriously, this isn't just some pretty picture from a magazine. This could totally be your garden. Growing lavender is such a rewarding adventure, and I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you'll have everything you need to make this happen. So here's our game plan for today's quest. First, we're going to get to know our new plant buddy. Then we'll get our hands dirty with planting, cover how to care for it, keep it healthy and happy, and then, my favorite part, we'll talk all about the harvest.
All right, first things first, let's get properly introduced to this fragrant friend we're about to invite into our homes and gardens. What's it all about?
Okay, so what is lavender, really? Well, it's this amazing aromatic shrub, and it's actually in the same family as mint. But you see that word right there, perennial? That is the magic word. It means your lavender isn't just a summer fling, it's a long-term relationship. With the right care, which we're definitely going to cover, your plant can come back year after year for 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. And let me tell you, this plant comes with some serious superpowers. That scent? It's famously calming. It's also a total superhero for our gardens, attracting all the good guys like bees and butterflies. And the best part? Once it gets settled in, it's incredibly low maintenance. Plus, you can use what you grow in all kinds of fun projects. Okay, but here's a super important thing to know. Not all lavender is created equal. There are tons of different kinds, so choosing the right one for where you live is key. English lavender is probably what you picture. It's that classic, super tough variety that does great in cooler places and is the absolute best for cooking. But if you live somewhere hotter, you might want to check out Spanish lavender. It loves the heat and has these really cool-looking flowers with what look like little bunny ears on top. Now, really quick, before we get into the how-to, we have to put up this important note. While lavender is famous for its calming properties, everything we're talking about today is just for fun and learning. It is not medical advice. So please, always check with a doctor or a health expert before using any herb for any kind of health reason, okay? Great.
All right, now that you've picked out your perfect lavender, it's time for the next big step in our quest, giving our new friend the absolute perfect home. Honestly, getting this part right is probably the most important thing you'll do.
If you only remember one single thing from this entire explainer, please make it this. Lavender is from the Mediterranean. So if you want to make it happy, you have to pretend you're giving it a little Mediterranean vacation. Think hot, sunny, and dry. So what does that vacation look like? Well, first, sunshine is non-negotiable. It needs at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun every single day. But the soil is the big one. It absolutely has to drain well. Lavender hates, and I mean hates, having wet feet. The roots will rot if they sit in water. So if your soil is heavy clay, you'll need to add some sand or gravel to lighten it up. And here's another thing. It actually likes poor, rocky soil. So step away from the rich compost and fertilizer. It really doesn't need it.
Now, the actual planting part, it's super simple, I promise. You want to do this in the spring, right after the last frost is gone. Just dig a hole that's a little wider and deeper than the pot it came in, gently pop the plant in there, and fill the hole back up with soil. Give it one good deep drink of water to help it settle into its new home, and that's it.
And please, don't crowd your plants. I know it's tempting to plant them close together, but giving them 2 to 3 feet of space all around is so important. Remember that good airflow we talked about? This is how you get it. Good spacing helps keep the leaves dry and is your #1 defense against any fungal problems. Okay, our lavender's in the ground and feeling right at home. Now our quest shifts a little bit. We're moving on to the ongoing hero duties that are going to keep our plant happy and beautiful for years and years to come. Here's the best part about caring for lavender. Your main job is to not love it to death, especially with water. Once your plant gets through its first year and its roots are established, it's incredibly drought tolerant. Seriously, overwatering is the #1 way people accidentally kill their lavender. Just let the soil get completely dry before you even think about watering it again.
Now let's talk about something that scares a lot of new gardeners, but it's actually one of the most important things you can do for your plant's long-term health. That's right, it's time for a little haircut.
Pruning is the secret to keeping your lavender from getting all woody and spindly. The perfect time to do it is late in the summer, right after it's done flowering. Just trim off about 1/3 of the green leafy part of the plant. But, and this is the part you absolutely have to remember, Never, ever cut into that old, brown, woody part at the base. It won't grow back from there. This little annual trim keeps it looking bushy and full, and it'll give you way more flowers next year.
You know, one of lavender's best superpowers is that its strong scent naturally keeps a lot of pests away. But, you know, sometimes unwanted visitors show up anyway. So let's talk about how to deal with them in a simple, organic way.
So what happens if you do spot some little critters you didn't invite to the party? First off, don't panic. The solutions are usually pretty friendly and simple.
Honestly, prevention is your best friend here. We already talked about good airflow from spacing. You can also make your garden a welcoming place for good bugs like ladybugs, who will take care of pests for you. And here's a really cool trick. Try companion planting. Lavender grows great next to other Mediterranean herbs like rosemary or thyme. It's like having good neighbors that look out for each other.
And now for the best part, the grand finale of our entire quest. After all that love and care, it is finally time to enjoy the beautiful, fragrant rewards.
Okay, for the best, most fragrant harvest, timing is key. You want to do it on a nice sunny morning right after the morning dew has dried up, because that's when the oils are strongest. Look at the flower spikes, and when about half of the little tiny buds are open, that's the perfect time. Just use scissors to snip the stems, tie them into little bundles, and hang them upside down somewhere dry and airy to dry out.
And once your lavender is all dry, the possibilities are just endless. You can make little sachets to make your drawers and closets smell amazing, create gorgeous dried flower bouquets that last forever, make your own potpourri. You can even use a little bit in things like lemonade or shortbread cookies. The sky's the limit.
And just like that, you did it. From a tiny plant in a pot to a beautiful, fragrant harvest, your quest is officially complete. You've got all the knowledge you need to grow amazing lavender for years to come. So congratulations, gardener. You've totally mastered one of the most beloved plants in the gardening world. But you know what? This is really just the beginning of your adventure. So now that you're a lavender pro, the only question left is, what fragrant friend are you going to grow next?